We are out here in Moab, Eastern Jeep Safari 2024 with all of our friends, Motobilt, Mickey Thompson.
So day one of EJS for us started off on the Pickle.
Debuting the new 42-inch tires, those things have been a hit, obviously. And I think you really had a solid week.
It worked good, yeah. For a change, it hasn't been me.
We had the Motobilt crew with us.
Yeah, that trail, the parking lot was right at the road, and it was a good probably 20 minutes back to the wheeling, the actual obstacles and stuff, and which was good, kind of to break in everybody and get everybody, loose. Yeah, I loosened up. I definitely warmed up. I was having some motor issues, minor inconvenience. That's all. I had blew a radiator hose, and I think I just had air in the system from redoing a few things before the trip. So I blew a radiator hose. I was able to get through the day, but that night I replaced the water pump when that fixed things. But yeah, that was definitely interesting. I hadn't had that happen before, and coolant blowing everywhere, and white smoke and steam.
The Pickle, I like the Pickle. I mean, it's a fun trail. It's nothing too crazy. We went out with all the Motobilt guys. Hunter had her new build out here, and Bender had his new one out. Bobby was out. Dan had El Jefe, 43 or 40, the new 42 Baja Bosses on 3 of those rigs. Everybody did really good. We had a really fun time on that trail.
So it's a little nerve-wracking taking a vehicle that's not yours.
Everyone just kind of smooth sailed through everything, played around, did some funky stuff.
Well, not me so much. I was riding with Alex. It wasn't so smooth.
It's fine.
Hey, ballast.
Ballast.
I tried to crawl it at first. We did pretty decent crawling it until it got to the point where we needed like a little bit of momentum on it. And then ultimately got some momentum, got to the top. Not too bad.
It had all the traction in the world out here, so there wasn't too much slipping. So you just crawl up that wall, and it was a hard left to actually get on the strip by the wall. And I think a lot of people had to 3-point it and not back down the ledges.
Obviously the 42s did really well, but even like the 37s on the Dynatrack, everything had good traction. Obviously a little biased, but I do think that the Mickeys were outperforming everything else out there.
Yeah,
I saw.
For sure.
So then when you're rolling out of the canyon, like the Pickle Canyon, you have the squeeze.
Yeah.
It's a cool obstacle because it kind of puts you into weird camber positions and you think you're gonna have some damage, but it ends up just hooking up and pulling you right out.
The main line was actually really fun. I enjoyed it. It was like a V-notch, but it wasn't really a V, but it did have a tight wall on each side. You had to ride each side just right and give it a little hit at the end. That was pretty much all there was to it. It was just a good little, good little climb.
Well, when you sit at the top of that, you kind of like try and visually think of the width of your car, and you're like,
Yeah.
no, like that's not going to happen.
If that rolls this way, I'm gonna dive right through the window.
I don't know. I'm gonna fake it though. If I'm doing something wrong, tell me. Fake it. Is that 42? Yeah.
It was a very easy day. We weren't out there super long.
No. Yeah, we
And-
were off relatively early.
Yeah.
Back for dinner.
I got gloves on, guys. We're good. I don't.
Gloves on. Tuesday was my day.
All right.
I loved it.
So Tuesday, we knew we were going to have a light group, and I've always wanted to run behind the rocks to White Knuckle, out the full, like without taking the easy way out,
Right.
and then take that in through Pritchett and back in.
I kind of forgot that a lot of places in Moab does have that sandy kind of coating to everything, and you got to give a little bump a lot of times. So I did try and crawl it a couple times, and then ultimately remembered, oh, I need to give it a bump, and so made it up that way.
Yeah, you either got to bump it or you got to work the tires enough to where it clears the sand off, and then it'll bite after that for sure.
Hey, if you're enjoying these Great American Crawl videos and all the Rockstar Garage videos, make sure you are liking, subscribing. And what we're doing right now is we have an active thing going where we are giving out a free piece of clothing. Now, these are the 5-year anniversary. Those are the new Rock Buggy shirts. So we're gonna be picking one lucky person who leaves a good comment on all the videos. Doesn't matter if it's an old one, a new one, whatever it is. Go on there, leave a comment, and you might be getting one of these free. So check it out. Make sure you are liked and subscribed and you're following everything.
And this and all of our other Great American Crawl apparel you can buy online at greatamericancrawl.com.
Oh, that was it?
Yeah, no, it wasn't too bad. I mean, this was my first time being out in Moab wheeling at all. So, I mean, it's very picturesque, right? And it's beautiful out here. I'd like to come back for sure.
Yeah, so once we got to High Dive, we kind of pulled up, and Nick had actually gone around in Rock Buggy. He didn't go off it first. He went around and he wanted to try and work it going back up. So we pulled up top. Everybody got out, started walking it just to kind of see what it was all about.
And I felt like I just drove right up that thing,
yeah,
and then went up it, and that was probably rear steer. You know, 90% of that stuff's rear steer on those obstacles like that. But got up it, and then I flipped around and I was coming back down. Hey, I have no brakes. I lose all brakes. All brakes, and I'm in fourth gear in 4 low, and it's trying to push me through my brakes.
Jeez Louise, I swear.
Feels like it had no pressure. It was pretty gnarly. We all started looking at it, and I'm one of those people that, like, the more we talk about it, the less I want to do it. So that's why I just want to go for it.
And there was a pretty distinct line, and I think that's the same line that everybody used going down. There's a little like notch in a rock on the passenger side where you just kind of ride that notch down and it puts your driver's side in the right place.
That wasn't that bad.
As scary as it looks at first, once you get on it, it really didn't feel that bad.
Yeah, I think the kicker is like when you finally made that good 3-foot drop or whatever, and everything unloads. I think that's where it would get people's attention for sure. It's a little nerving, but no, we got it going, and I don't know, the 4-doors, I'm getting more comfortable with how they react. So, you know, what's hard is when you go back and forth from a long one to a short one to that one, you know, I mean, they all track differently, so you got to kind of pre-plan for that. But no, it worked out. I don't know that we had anybody slip or everybody got down. Nobody got any body damage this weekend, so that's good.
Yeah.
Getting your tires, the driver's side had a huge drop, and the passenger side had a little ledge that you kind of had to hook your tire into that kept you up and kind of actually held you up. So once that driver's side dropped down, it was no joke. I think we all probably did it in 4 high too, ready to gun it out of there if we started to go ass end over. So it was a good challenge for sure. all want to climb up stuff. So naturally, turn right back around and try to go up stuff after we come down. I thought he was going to make it. Trey got in there, and I think he was on the right line. I just don't think the magic was there as far as like...
It was a spotter.
Yeah, it was all his spotter's fault. Yeah, I just don't think it was there. It was... it's a steep hill. I think if you're not, a mile long, like some of the guys that we have... Yeah. It's definitely a challenge. He got wedged in there pretty good, and you actually went around the long way to hook a line to him to get him up it.
So for this week, I have the new 42-inch Baja Bosses. They're a DOT compared to the sticky that I had on prior, but the added height I think is definitely a boost. I do like having my axles a little bit higher. Like both me and you are pretty low to the ground as is. So having an extra inch and a half for your axles, for your center skid plates, like everything, it does help out a little bit.
Doesn't sound like it makes a big difference, but it really does.
Yeah, you can always use an extra inch to 2 inch.
And then we got to White Knuckle, and I've done it a few times, and last time I did it was in gridlock, and this thing's a foot longer than gridlock, but with the 46s, it's wider and it's heavier. And Jason put me on a line, and I dropped down on, and I kind of thank God for a minute how long this thing was, because it landed on frame rail.
Yeah.
And then like right when it landed on frame rail, both my tires just went, dunk, and then I just rolled right out of it.
Once we got to White Knuckle, the sleet was actually coming down pretty hard, and it was getting bigger and bigger.
Look at that, it was great.
Yeah, that was pretty wild. I mean, I live in Florida, so
yeah,
we don't see that. I'm like, what is this stuff?
Yeah, Alex, that one, well, he's short, so you making them drops in something super short, your weight transfer is a thing. And I mean, and that's what's cool with Alex, is he's good to do it.
Huh? What did you say? That's a long ass ways. And that's not long.
Yeah, no, my spotter told me don't do it.
There it is. All right, Jordan, you're up now.
That was cool.
That definitely makes you pucker.
Perfect one to do when it starts snowing and it gets a little slick out. It was great.
Yeah.
You should try it.
It was funny for me because I did not know how bad that ledge was until you asked me, are you going down it? Because I was in my Jeeps trying to stay warm because I'm from Florida and I didn't like that snow.
I think it was a pretty funny day because we literally got pretty much all 4 seasons in one day. Honestly, in a few hours, we got all 4 seasons.
100%.
Because like not even 30, 40 minutes after that, it was just sunny.
Yeah.
The sun came out and then it started raining on us.
Turn passenger, dropping.
And then like right after we got out of that canyon, I think is when it really dumped on us.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I was driving like this.
Yeah,
no
well, you don't
windshield.
have a windshield, yeah.
Not used to the precipitation, so it gets, when we wheel in the winter, I mean, it gets pretty chilly and windy and it'll be cold, but actually getting sleeted on, I don't know that I've ever wheeled.
You haven't experienced
getting sleeted
We don't
on.
get that very often.
Yeah, I'm surprised we got through it as quick as we did, as late as we did, because we got a late start. Normally, Pritchett is a trail that you get to the trailhead at like 6:30, 7 o'clock, and you try to get out of there before dark. That's one of those long day. You plan to go and you plan to be there for a long time. So to be starting at like afternoon already, it was questionable for me. I was kind of, I was wondering if we were actually going to get out of there, but we moved along surprisingly quick. I guess that's also, gravity helps that.
Yeah, and the downhill sketchiness continued on through the day.
We were on a downward spiral.
Yeah, so again, it was one of those trails I haven't run in either direction. So when we got to the top of it, it was, you know, to me, I didn't have any reservations. It was just like we were there to do a trail. So we had a good bit of traffic running it in, I guess, what you would consider the correct direction. But we did a good job, both our group and the other groups did a good job of staying out of each other's way and pulling off to the side and letting a few through. So to me, it just looked like another trail, but with some drops. Yeah. So I was looking forward to it. It was a really pretty canyon. Having never been down in there, it was very picturesque.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So
that word's hard to say. Picturesque.
Yes, it is.
Picturesque.
Yeah.
And I think like whenever we did hit traffic, we hit it at like pretty good spots to where we had enough room to let everyone pass.
Once it was our turn to go down, I mean, it really didn't seem that bad, but when you got in there and you had to make the left turn, once you got down through the left turn, then that drop, everybody kind of slid down that drop a little bit. So that's, to me, when you're doing descents, the sliding is what kind of gets to me. It's not the actual drop itself. It's if you start to slip and slide and you don't know if you're gonna slide sideways or whatever. So I actually went faster than I normally would dropping off stuff just to kind of try and avoid that.
Well, and that one was a little tricky too, because you had to go down a little step and then you had to start making a left turn, which wanted to kind of nose you over onto the driver's side. And you know, again, with people going down things straight on is one thing, but then going down things sideways and crooked, that changes the game for, I mean, it's a whole psych thing, you know, you kind of psych yourself out, but everybody handled it well. And
Yeah, the downhill definitely speeds the process up. You just have to go. So it's not like you're gonna have one rig struggle for 10 minutes on an obstacle, because, you know, they're either gonna end up on all fours at the bottom of it in one try, or you're gonna have to start pulling winch cable and flipping somebody over. So luckily we didn't have any of that, so everything was a first try, and we just kind of moved through the trail pretty quickly.
Push
Yeah,
yourself
rocker
over.
knocker was probably that's the one that probably had me the worst, because it was so hard to get lined up to make that drop flush, and I couldn't back up that much. I'm like,
So Cameron went down before me. He came down those first few ledges a little quick, and then once that tire hit the bottom, you could just hear the bust.
That sucks.
You can hear the good hiss of air come out because the tire popped.
Pointy things against rubber, not good.
Yeah, definitely bad. At the bottom of Chewy, it's a nasty undercut on the right-hand side. So my driver tire went right into that undercut, and my rear ended lifted up. And I've had the Jeep pretty sideways, but I don't think I've ever felt like imminent roll, like it's happening. I felt like it was happening, and that was definitely sketch.
I mean, the only real issue we had is when we got to Chewy and Cam kind of came down hard on that rock.
That pinch flat.
Dude, that kit though, it's like this instant super glue. And so you have to clean off the sidewall or whatever it is. And then you take this patch and you super glue both sides and you put it on. Then it has an accelerator you spray on the outside.
Yeah.
And it literally just like liquid hardens it.
Yeah, so I mean, we were exercising the power tank quite a bit on that day. I love my power
Well,
tank.
I don't know how many people we aired up.
Oh
to.
yeah, we worked.
Everybody was using the air.
Yeah. So down and dirty, we got to that, and I guess that's kind of like the end of it if you're running it in that direction. I got on it and I was kind of like side hilling it a little bit and started to pop a tire up just a little, but it just felt really weird.
That's a cool obstacle. When you're on that particular obstacle, it was a ways down still. So when you're leaning towards way down there, that just makes it a little more, you're more skeptical of it because it's intimidating, if you would.
And apparently that gave Chris a little heart attack. I thought it was completely fine. I didn't think it was that bad. I mean, I knew I was pretty far over. I didn't think it would be that bad.
See, you were fine, Chris.
Then we were able to just kind of move through the trail pretty quickly and, you know, take in the scenery, and there was obviously some more drops, but yeah, I mean, it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, no, it was beautiful in there. That's probably the most pictures I've ever taken on my cell phone on any of the trips, honestly. So no, it worked out good.
Yeah, we had an awesome day.
It was a hell of a day, I'll say that. Going down, everything was a challenge that I enjoyed.
We actually covered a decent amount of land for that day too. So
Pritchett's a long trail. It's got a long entrance and a long exit, and then to add on behind the rocks on top of that, it was fun.
yeah.
You know, we made it out of Pritchett from start to finish in about an hour and a half, which is pretty insane
Yeah.
when you think about it. Obviously you're going down, not climbing up, but still, obviously you can have problems going down. But other than that, you know, I mean, super chill trip. A lot of fun, no major damage, which is good because we're headed to Vernal for the Great American Crawl, and I've heard
Vernal's got some.
Yeah.
It's gonna
So
be
we'll
it's gonna
see.
be interesting. Some
We'll
of these guys, you know, when I've been talking to some of the guys that are coming with us, some of the team, and I'm like, have you guys ever heard anything of Vernal or looked at anything? They're like, no, why? I'm like, can't wait till you get there.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see how it goes. So.
GreatAmericanCrawl.com, and there's links to the store.
I bet if you go about 5 miles that way, you'll find a couple more shirts for free, I bet.
Buy shirts.
Yeah, right.
Buy shirts. GreatAmericanCrawl.com. Go to our shop.
Cool swag.
Like, comment, and subscribe.